Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Total War Reunited Kingdom campaign. We are reorganizing our armies in the south and planning our next steps. Now part of this involves shuffling around some ancillaries. And in particular, I do something that I rarely do, which is I've taken this captain title and given it to this guy, Eorhail the Hunter. This is because after I checked out some of the various family members I have with me, I've got quite a few down here actually. Some of them are getting a little bit old and some of them are going to be more suited for governorships. But some of them, because they happened to be leading the stack, ended up with the captain title. And this is something you can get after winning a victory, let's say. This adds a +2 to command, but it's important to notice that this does not affect their actual command skill. It is more of a military title that you bestow on someone for whatever reason. The reason you might want to shuffle that title around is because you may win a battle with a bad commander. Like, let's say this guy was in charge of the stack at one point, and he was an inept commander, but he happened to win a battle. So he gets the captain title. These are titles that sort of, there's a bit of a dice roll involved, and they can randomly show up after certain conditions are met. So he ends up with the captain title, but he's an inept commander. Now, what the title does is it gives you +2 to command on the campaign map. That is before you get to an actual battle. So right now, this guy's walking around with a total of 3 command. This, however, does not accurately reflect his actual military skill. The actual command that he will have on the battlefield is separate, and this is why the command stat is broken down into rank and skill on this lengthy tooltip here. So what the command, or what the captain title and other similar titles that add to command actually do is they increase the military rank, not the skill of that character. Well, what's the point of that? Well, what you can do then as the leader of the faction, essentially, is you can make sure that these are given to the family members who have the actual skill. So I don't want an inept commander taking charge of the stack. I want a competent commander. So what I've done here is I've given that captain trait to this family member, Eorhail the Hunter, and now what this actually does, him having higher command than this guy, means that he is going to be the leader of the stack in a battle situation. And that means that his traits, all of his combat-related traits, are going to be in play when he gets to the battlefield. So, at any rate, that's something that, again, I rarely do because I don't often have this many family members in a single stack. But when you do, it's good to shuffle them around every now and then and take a look at that. I think we're, though, sort of at a point where we're ready to click end turn. And indeed, we have Haradrians coming out of the woodwork to besiege the settlements we have recently conquered. So we're going to be dealing with that. The plan this episode is to... Oh, great, we've got actually a good husband option here. He's a Dunedain, which is very, very nice, fairly rare. Decreased chance of having children, -1 command with cavalry, but +2 to law, +1 troop morale. House of Galador, all right, he's youthful, he's competent at everything, he's energetic and intelligent. He's a skilled fighter and somewhat learned. Short in stature and a careless speaker, but you know what, I'll take him. He is all the way over at Mornin, but I think I want him somewhere else. Now, it would be nice to maybe get him, I don't know, maybe over into the east, where he can start taking control of, say, Barad Eden. So maybe that's what I'll do. We've got some family members already in charge of places like Minas Anor, Emin Arnin, and the nice thing about putting these places on what is it, the local control option, local governance, is that it makes this gear icon show up. So every place that I have a governor, you put on local governance and a growth policy, that makes this gear icon show up in the campaign map. So it's an easy visual for you to tell who, what places actually have a governor versus what places need it. So he's going to go off into the east, where he may get a chance to fight against, who knows, maybe Rune at some point. But what we're going to do this episode is try to deal with Harad, try to get our borders down there settled, and we're slowly training some of our Blackroot Vale bowmen up here. We've got like 6 or 8, in the queue, and we've got some archers as well as some other men down here ready to go. Once we get a couple more archers trained, I think I'm going to start doing some more training out of Dol Amroth to get maybe some infantry and possibly some other cavalry. Although we do have quite a bit of cav down there now. All right, so let's go take a look at Athendad. This is the settlement that we conquered very recently, And the army that attacked it was right up here in the woods. So if we look around, they're not here anymore. So this is one of the few areas where you can sort of spring an ambush in this territory. But I think what we'll just do is combine these guys. Now this is the guy I want to I gave him the lordship of Umbar, so he's going to head way back over here. We'll just ignore all of that. And these are some guys who will head up north for retraining. Let's get them... Well, let's get them right next to the city here. We'll get them onto the ship next season. And what we'll do is we'll attack with these armies. Now, this is, you know, a weird bunch of armies. It's 3 family members. It's some archers. It's some bits and pieces of other things that couldn't fit into this stack. But inside the city, we've also got some Gondorian swordsmen. We've got some, you know, full units of archers and almost full units of other infantry. So I think this should be okay. We could also grab some more, but... Let's just do it. Okay, so they're going to run away. And we could follow that up, and it would probably be a good idea to do that. I am not sure if we can... Well, actually, you know what? We can get these guys out of the city, because we've got the movement points to put them right back in, so we can take as many as we think we need. Geez, I would think that would be plenty. So we'll follow this up. And you can see that the majority of their units are just bits and pieces. 91 footmen of Harad, 90 Parchereb tribesmen, some archers, some cav, you know, some decent cav. But we've got cav of our own that should be able to counter that pretty well. All right, and because we've got some archers and they've got some cav, I think I'll have my archers behind my infantry line for once. We'll see how that works out. Now, probably they're going to send these guys forward. That means I'm going to pull my archers forward, and then they're going to send their cav at my archers, and it's going to be a big mess, like it always is. But we'll see how it plays out. What I really don't want to do is, you know, take a bunch of losses among my... Yeah, here come the Parchereb tribesmen. Okay, fine. They're going to shoot my Lasarnic axemen. Yep, they're going to target these guys. It's just so predictable. Of course, the Lasarnic axemen are the guys without a shield. Of course, they're the guys I don't want to lose because... I don't know, they're from a single settlement. You can only get them in Arnak. And they're so situational to use that you want to save them. The AI automatically deploys them in the front line usually because they're sort of an assault troop technically, but they're going to take a lot of losses in melee unless they're like, you know, like doing a flank attack or something where they're pretty safe from countermeasures. But you know, the nice thing about the AI archers is that they do spread their targeting around, so they're typically not going to focus down a single unit at a time. So you can afford kind of to take losses here or there. Meanwhile, you can do your own focus firing and take out the majority of one unit, work on the other. I think we may have the king here. I can't remember. This is Valakar of Tolfalas. Yeah, he may be the actual king at this point. Alright, but those Parcherebs are good to get rid of because they got spears. But really, there's just these 2 cav units. I think we're getting to a point where I can just go around and start dealing with them. Taking a lot of losses among our archers, but honestly, we've got a ton of archers coming. So I think we'll be okay. We may lose a lot of them, but we're going to get some back as replenishment happens. So I'm not as stressed out about archer losses as I used to be, because when you get your men killed by arrow fire, that's the kind of casualties that tend to replenish over time, just automatically after the battle. Remember when replenishment was not something that automatically happened to everybody, like in modern Total War games. Alright, so we're going to hit these Herodwaith Riders. I think we'll do a lot of damage to them. And then we'll just pull right around and hit these guys. We're going to get some javelin fire. But, you know, not too worried about it. We do have a lot of family members in this region, and I don't want to be accused of, you know, stacking generals in my armies. But, you know, sometimes you do it. Alright, so there goes their general. Let's hit the Parchrebs. They got spears, but I don't think they're going to stick around very long. We've got this kind of punishment, yeah. Very, very cool unit, Parchreb Tribesmen. I like them a lot. Right, now we're going to hit these skirmishers. We're going to hit the footmen. I think we'll be able to take these guys all out with just our cavalry, pretty much. Alright, let's see. Yeah, hit them straight on. Alright, and the only reason we're not getting the message yet is because of those guys. So we'll chase them all down and see you back on the campaign map. Okay, pretty straightforward battle there. Let's get some of these guys back inside the city. I may keep the Lasarnic Axemen out, but I wouldn't mind having some of these smaller units take up garrison duty. These archers... Let's see. Let's go with the Kingdom Militia. That gets us up to a blue face. These guys will have to be retrained pretty far away. I don't think... Okay, we could actually train them in Umbar eventually. So let's do that. Let's bring the archers in this direction. You guys can be trained back in Umbar immediately. But what we can do for garrison is start bringing out these footmen of Harad levies that we've been training. And that'll just beef up the numbers enough. Same thing with these guys. We do not need to leave them around as garrison in Karas Nan. What we want to do is get them back north to be retrained. So let's start distributing these units. Very nice. And we'll just keep that going. I think similarly in Habad, this is a pretty expensive garrison force. Footmen of Harad levies just cost 100. And they've got 110 men, so I think we would just want to keep training them, actually. We can now get skirmishers as well as our Kingdom Militia, which we can retrain now, so actually... Well, let's wait. We'll get the men over there, and then we'll, the levies, and then we'll sort of see what we can bring back. It's great to have the militia levies around. In terms of our income, it's not looking so great. But, you know what, we can, because the armies have not grouped up, we can sort of take these guys piecemeal, and they're going to stick around and fight. So we've got a potentially another straightforward battle. They do have some archers, this unit here. They do have some cav, these couple units of Herodwaith riders, and actually 3, as well as the Scarlet Shields. Probably those Scarlet Shields are going to be the general, if not them, one of the other cav units. But we have catapults, and we've got lots of riders in this army too. I think there's some good variety here. Yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff. So we've got a sort of central line of mariners with javelins. We've got spears of various description on either end and in the center. And we've got sorting skirmishers right behind the front line. I think that's pretty good to deter... Well, just to scare people. Let's see, bowmen out front. Yeah, let's do bowmen out front. And here's our Knights of Dol Amroth. Let's keep all the Dol Amroth units together. I just like that. And then we'll have our light lancers all together. I know there's probably a good argument to be made for mixing them together. So that, you know, some of your units in a group will have sort of that melee staying power, whereas the others will have that strong initial charge. But that seems to me to require a little more micromanagement than I'm usually comfortable with. And this way we can easily look and, you know, determine kind of who's going to win what. So now, are they going to stick around? That is the question. I think it's going to be pretty favorable for us. We're going to get down sort of into this lower terrain. So I think we could have a decent angle with our catapults. If they stay put, we could do some real damage, I think. Alright, our catapults can already fire on something. So let's... Oh, they're going to pull back just a little. Alright, but here we go with the big, heavy... Well, with the cav anyway. Let's get our spearmen up and out. They're going to get some javelins from our mariners. And they're going to possibly change their minds. We're going to take some friendly fire here, and they're going to run for the hills. Okay. All right, well, let's everybody pull back then. Let's see. Actually, let's go forward, because I think this is a weak enough line that we could just destroy these footmen. So let's get all of the cav in on this, and we could take out the archers too. These archers of Harad would be very nice to get rid of. And let's bring the general down. Let's maybe start actually with these nomadic watchmen levies. They're going to have you know, smaller unit size, so more likely to get them routing. But we're getting close to the edge of the battle line here. So I'm not sure how much we're going to accomplish. All right, taking some losses, but yeah, they turned around and held us off until the rest of the army could flee, so good for them, I guess. All right, so that's one stack. But we still have a bunch of units. We've still got our catapults. And so if we can get over here, which we can't. All right, so we're sort of in a dangerous position now in that both of these armies could hit us. So I'm thinking I want to sort of do this dance, which is you know, a little risky because it means that they're going to have time to train more and all this kind of stuff. But I'd like to not put myself in a position where I'm getting hit on multiple sides by fairly strong armies. We're going to get some of these guys retrained, and we should be in a better position. Okay, he's a poor governor. He's the Lord of Umbar Hinterland. I think I'm just going to leave him there in this role. You know, he's going to get better. He's attuned already. He's cordial, which is interesting. Memories of kindness from his liege are still strong enough to encourage this individual in his steadfast support of his lord's rule. So now he's dubious, which means that he's not not the most helpful kind of character, but it could be worse. Cordial is a trait that you can get by spending some time in the same stack as the king. And you can get cordial, which is obviously good. It basically improves your opinion of liege trait. Or you can get another one, rival, I think it's called, where it's basically the opposite. And I don't know exactly like if you can predict which one you're going to get. I think it has something to do, it might have something to do with the personality types of your the faction leader and then the other family member. So if they have a lot of similar like personality traits, then they may be more likely to be cordial, I guess. All right, now in the comments from the previous episode, someone had mentioned Andrast, the settlement over here, which I had actually completely forgotten about. This is indeed a Druidine settlement. It is in fact the only place on the map where you can find Druidine in Middle Earth. They appear as a rebel, several units, I think 6 or so, and they're pretty formidable. They've got javelins, and they are, I can't remember if they are a frightening unit, but they may be. And their javelins are just very strong. So they're not a unit I particularly want to tangle with. It's the kind of thing where you would send like, you know, a half stack of archers over there just to deal with them and be done with it. But I kind of like having my Druidine nature preserve on the coast of Andrast, and maybe we'll get there if we need to. Okay, I'm happily seeing that most of Rohan's armies are aimed in this direction. So hopefully they will continue to cause problems over here, not for me. And they're not yet at war with Dale, but it looks like they really want to be. I mean, they're on the territory. They're aiming in that direction. These are all clues you can use to determine the AI's goal. If there were a bunch of armies, you know, piling up over here pointed towards me, I would feel a lot more worried about it. But they're not at war with Rune yet, and neither am I. But I am seeing that Rune is besieging this Outnumbered settlement, and my hope is that they just keep going around and then take out the capital. So I'm not sure if that's going to work. We're doing our own building over here as well. And how's Minas Ithil going? 9 seasons, so we might get the Tower of the Moon in this episode if I can click that end turn quickly enough. Okay, they want trade rights. We do not want trade rights with them. I don't want any relationship with Rune. I want to keep them guessing so that they're theoretically maybe less likely to attack. Same thing with Tharbad. We just want to be completely neutral to you. All right. They keep having these tiny fleets.
Prepare for battle. Victory!
And where'd that one go? Right there.
Prepare to engage. Victory! Fleet
Okay, we can't get that one again, but we will worry about that later. Okay, so we've got in Habad. Let's see, can we deal with this? We don't need to send the Kingdom Militia north anymore. We can send them south. But what we can do is we can also just use these armies in the south. So let's take all of these guys and put them on the ship. These armies can go and join up with this one. And so can, I think, the Kingdom Militia. Yeah, we don't need them for garrison here. And, you know, pretty soon we're not going to have to worry about Habad, Karasnan, or Umbar because we're going to take Akas Anabon. Karasnan is looking very happy. All right, that's fine. Okay, so we're seeing Harad send out a couple of units. They had 3 in Umbar last time I checked, so they must have trained another one and sent it out over here. We do want to get this. So maybe that's what I'll do with this army, because I don't think we're going to need them to support here for a little while. So let's send them directly over here.
Captain.
Actually, yeah, let's stack them up with this force. And if we want to, we can get some more spearmen. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, you guys can go back to Umbar. And you're going to go and govern. Now, it looks like this guy's pretty old. It says he's middle-aged. So, you know, we'll see about that. I think, though, what we can do is safely take the local governance here. And, you know, he's probably... It's going to take a little while before he starts to really give us benefits. But in terms of construction, what we could go for right immediately is hosting halls. That would get us Bowmen of Gondor in 6 seasons. I think what we'll do first is go for the construction charter. We would give that would give us 2 options here. One of them is timber, so we could go for you know, wood. What is it? Woodcutters workshop, something like that, and that would decrease the construction costs of the buildings. That's the one I'm kind of tempted to do. On the other hand, iron. This is also a construction option, and I think it improves the speed at which you can complete buildings. And so that's also really attractive once we start to get into these upper tier buildings. And lo and behold, Rohan has declared war on Dale. Awesome. That is fantastic news. That's going to keep Rohan really busy, hopefully for a really long time, because Dale has some pretty strong armies and they've been conquering the dwarves. So they're probably pretty rich. That is wonderful. So Rohan's not going to be causing any trouble. And in fact, Rohan did have this, but they lost it to Rebellion. That's also good news. I'd like to get that at some point. We lost an emissary in Arendal, so I think I want to train another one. We don't want to have this bribed away from us. All right, we had an agent in 3 ways. Okay. All right. I don't know that it's really worth upgrading the military stuff here when we can train cheap units just, you know, in Bree. So I think we'll do that. We'll get some of these archers and send them down to help with the public order there. And, you know, really in the north, we're just continuing our holding action. This guy's got to die, then I'm going to try to bribe this one. And then at that point, there shouldn't be any Adunabar forces around here. Although, it does look like they have finally taken back Western Rudar, which is... Okay, that's not good. We've got a bunch of forces here, but again, the problem is that in theory... So, yeah, let's keep the emissary right in the middle there. In theory, Adunabar could attack us, right? We're neutral with them, and that could theoretically screw up our protectorate with Harondor because they're allied with the Dunabar. It shouldn't, but it may. So we've got not much money coming. What did we even spend it on? Oh yeah, we queued up construction charter, but that's only like 400. Well, at any rate, we're we are spending money. We're training units, I guess, so that's probably part of it. And, you know, putting a guy in charge of a city at first is going to actually be sort of a detriment. I don't like this either. I think what they're doing is trying to get down here to support the siege, so I don't think they're going to attack me, but we are right on their territory. So it could happen. We could lose our protectorate, but, you know, I think if we lose it, we're going to lose it temporarily. What I would plan to do if we lose Harondor as a protectorate is just go all out and destroy a Dunabar, or make them my protectorate, and then repeat what I did with Harondor. Because Harondor has not grown at all. They're going to be very, very weak. Okay, so now we've got a big stack right here. But I think it's a paper tiger. Let's go take a closer look. All right, it's got some swords. It's got an indeterminate number of scarlet shields, and it does have the ruler. So we don't. Where's our ruler? This is the High King right here. He's going to go west, though. So here we've got plenty of cab, I think, in this army to deal with this force. It looks just about even, slightly in their favor. All right, they got a full unit of scarlet shields, so some pretty decent stuff. Let's go ahead and take them out. So if I'm thinking that a Dunabar is looking like they may attack us soon, what I may want to do is not give territory to Harondor then, at least for a little while, and instead maybe gift it to you know, some other faction. All right, because I don't want to, you know, obviously strengthen Harondor and then have them turn on me. All right, everything here is looking good. We'll just group up that infantry line, and they're probably going to be over to my right, which is fine. I don't think they have any, like, archers, really. Let's keep the cavalry over there, just... Okay. So they're a little confused. It's good to have your cavalry out in the flanks, I guess, especially if it doesn't look like they're going to do anything with theirs. This is the very, very full unit of Serpent Black. And then they've got their Scarlet Shields hidden in the woods here, but I think that's it for their cav. So whatever comes out at me, I think will be just fine. Let's move them a little bit closer. We don't want to get the archers close enough to hit because that's going to cause the army to move up. And I want to wait and bombard for as long as I can. In fact, I don't really want to hit the targets out front. I want to aim at, like... Yeah, let's aim at these Swords of Harad. Alright, see, that's good. We're not even hitting the unit we're aiming at. Alright, nice. There we go, got them down to half strength. And a lot of other incidental hits. Alright, good. Spearman of the Serpent. Alright, we've used up half of our ammo, but this is doing good stuff, I think. Alright, we'll do one more. If it doesn't do... The next time I see a shot that doesn't do, like, any damage, or that only hits these guys, I'm going to... Alright, so now we're going to switch targets. Let's go for these Swords of Harad. Very good. Alright, switch again over to these guys. Okay. All right, not doing too much here, and that's the end of it. Okay, so time to move everybody up. I'm thinking the cavalry is going to come out of those trees over there. So we'll bring up mine in that direction, including the general. Not sure exactly how we're going to deal with the Serpent Black unit. This is you know, like it's a reasonably tough unit in melee as well as at range. We've got the archers to defeat these guys. Well, actually, they probably do outnumber us. We've got 150. They've got, well, we about match them, I guess, in terms of numbers. Alright, so this is pretty flat terrain. We're going to bring up some swords. Oh, the cavalry's over on that wing. Alright, let's quickly switch gears then. Alright, once again, our archers are bearing the brunt of this pretty weak charge, but we lost a lot. Probably to swords, I'm guessing. Kind of surprised we haven't routed them yet, so there they go. Alright, more swords coming up. And their cav is all hanging back, which I'm kind of okay with. Let's get under those javelins. We're going to throw some of our own. Alright, they got more swords to come. And that's a pretty full unit, as well as some spearmen. But now we've got our cavalry ready, so let's do a straight up charge. The lancers are going to get there first, but they're going to be followed up with those heavier units. And this is going to take them out pretty effectively, I think. Oh yes. But look how good their morale is, especially when they are you know, backed up with a general. Spearmen of the Serpent fighting against our swords. I think we're going to be in a pretty good position for that. But let's get these guys up because they are a fear-causing unit. And we'll get them involved too. Just charging our cavalry right into the line. They've got some swords there. We're going to get their Serpent Black involved. So I want to take him out. Alright, let's throw in the skirmishers. See if we can get some breaking of their line. I'd like to get the infantry support happening here. Alright, they've got 37 men. Let's wait until we're formed up and we'll do a charge and then see how that plays out for them. So they definitely outnumber us here, but we're going to get a charge. Some of their units are starting to rout. Let's bring in those Duel Amroth units who've been fighting the infantry guys. Oh, good. Took them out in the charge with the banner bearer. Awesome. Alright, that should be the end of that. Deal with those swords, and we should be all set. Very, very nice. We took a lot of losses among these Harondor riders, though. It is sad. We can pick up some more of them. And, you know, to be honest, they have been a pretty hefty drain on our coffers for a while. We took out the enemy king. I don't know that we're going to need 3 full units of these guys. They've been really helpful, though, honestly. And they're an easy unit to get back. So if we do have 3 units, I don't know if they'll survive. Probably they're going to merge into 1 or maybe 2 different units. But we'll just finish this up and get back to the campaign map where we will make that decision.
Victory! Out of move, sir. Orders?
Yeah, as I feared, we've got a single unit here of mercenary Hirondor riders. That's 16 men remaining. I'm not sure if we're going to get any more like down here. We may have to go north of the Harnan to pick up more of those guys. And, you know, we do have a family member up here who could recruit some. I think you can get 3 at a time typically. But I'm thinking we've got some Dol Amroth guys. We've got some family members around here. Maybe I'll retrain this unit back at Umbar and then call it good. We'll bring in this other unit of mercenaries. In fact, we should send him over like right now, right? Because there's no point in having all these guys out here. We'll sort of join them up with this army for now, and we'll take Umbar. But yeah, I think we got to keep cranking out these footmen. That is going to hurt our population growth, but we'll get it back. I think Umbar is a pretty good grower, 2% here.
Yes, Captain. Forward! Orders? Forward! Orders?
But with that, we are in a position, theoretically, pick up a couple of mercs maybe, and maybe take Akas Anabon. The difficulty there is going to be defending it against these 3 provinces, basically, because that means it's 3 different areas they can attack us from. 3 different cities against 2, right? In terms of how you have to defend and what they can produce, that's going to be the problem, and we need to keep up the pressure. So I think, you know, as much as it's good to go and take Umbar, something we have to do anyway. But we are going to want to bring down these reinforcements to help us out. So probably time to, yeah, I've got a little bit of cash. Let's go ahead and train a unit of mariners. Train a unit of swords. And we'll bring them down with all the other archers in a little bit. All right, we got these archers coming over here. I can't remember why. It probably was to bring them east to help with garrisoning something. Okay, we got a fleet over here. All right, we won, and I think we sunk that ship too. This is why we want to take out Umbar. We take that out, we get no more problems with enemy fleets. All right, so let's investigate what we're doing with these archers. How do we get these footmen of Harad levies up here? I must have brought them north on a ship or something. Okay, but let's head them over into the east, I guess. Barad Den, right? That'll be an archer unit. Oh, whoops. That was the family member. Well, he can... let's see, what have we done here? We do need to take out Homeland... We do need to work on Homeland Dominion. I'm wondering if Lond Nernin or Barad Den is going to be better. In terms of units... You know, we're not going to get that much difference out of these places, if I recall. Yeah, it's all the same stuff. Probably Lond Nernin is better and in terms of wealth production. So let's take him over there. We are going to be moving through Adunabar territory. But notice we were not attacked, and they did seem to move around so they can get to us. All right, so where are those archers, though? Oh, maybe that wasn't an archer unit. Maybe that was the family member unit that I was bringing over and I got confused. All right. Sometimes the game does that. It has a unit selected down below, but it shows you a different unit moving. All right. 3 more seasons here. So let's go with another unit of these guys. They're very expensive, but they're also very helpful. All right. Bjorning is our attacking Dale. So I hope Dale holds fast. I'm not sure that they will. It's the Northmen turning on the Northmen. Pretty regular occurrence in the 4th Age, unfortunately. But the Bjornings are probably going to win over here unless this army comes to deal with them. But yes, we do have a siege here. It's funny because when you get your settlement with these kind of walls, it's a little hard to tell that it's under siege. And especially when you've got like 2 units in there. I mean, this is a kind of siege that... I probably have to drive them off because it's just annoying enough that I don't want to fight it, especially if that general inside ends up dying of old age.
March!
Captain,
So we'll bring all these units together. You're going back to get retrained.
Captain,
And we'll hit you next turn. And then meanwhile they're training up, but that's just fine. Up here, we've got a pretty nice group
Yes, Captain!
that we can bring up to Dol Amroth / Mornin.
Yes, Captain!
Actually, what we want to do
Sail!
is make room for them.
Ready to sail! Ready,
Where are you?
ready to sail!
I'm going to get you right here.
Yes, Captain!
And we're losing a bit of money, but you know what we are doing is working on things. Major Province in Harngon is going to allow us to get to the highest level of development there. And we are working on that Homeland Dominion in Lond Nernan. So I think we got to keep up our military pressure, and that means, you know, going a little bit into debt in terms of mercenaries.
yes, master, on my way.
Now, fortunately, Akkas Anabon is looking kind of strong, and I don't really want to fight this army in the streets. It's just a lot of swords and stuff, and it would be a lot of damage. What I want is for them to come out, you know, at some point. So let's go and take a look at this army. Extremely manageable. It looks kind of big, but it's because it's got a lot of, you know, large-ish unit sizes. So we'll go for some more spears. And, you know, eventually we're going to get this back, and the training's going to come back online, and we should be all good to go. All right, that looked like a little unrest in 3 ways. Yeah, okay, so we need to get these guys back. It's at 65%. Let's just queue up enough to get us to 70. And then we were going to bring these extra archers down. That should be enough to do it. Yeah. Okay, yes, dwarves and the Bjornings are now at war. And Rohan got peace with the dwarves. That's probably going to change anyway, because the dwarves and Dale have the same type of relationship as Rohan and the Reunited Kingdom. Okay, but what we're going to do over here, we're going to spend some of our cash with a Dunabar. We've got an emissary that we just trained at Bree, and a Dunabar has an emissary right here, and I would like to buy Tardal from you. Let's see. Demand, give Tardal, and I'm going to give you 5,000 for it. Okay, they want 17 grand. I'm not going to trade with you. But let's go up to 10. All right, let's try 15. We're not doing trade. Offer, make single payment. Okay, 14,430. All right, that's looking better. I mean, trade is just not going to happen, so I'm going to have to go up to like 16. I'm probably going to be spending a lot of money on this. They're going to give us map information. I don't really care about that. Again, I don't want to trade because I don't want them to attack me. And it seems as though trading with a faction leads that to happen. All right, 17 grand. We've got Tardal. Now we got to get rid of it, or keep it, I guess. I mean, we could just take and hold this. We do border the dwarves up here. Dunabar has not taken this yet. So they have Arnor North. We have Western Rudar, which, you know, I'm kind of okay with. And the public order is decent. Let's get rid of these control posts. We put the taxes on low. Public order is actually looking great. Okay. So let's just hope they don't attack us immediately. And then, I mean, what we could do is we could give this away immediately, right? We could give this to the dwarves. I'd rather give like this to the dwarves, and then we would be completely walled off, and we'd have this, you know, which is not that great of a province, but it does have horses, so it's got some trade potential. So let's leave that for now. I'm not sure what Adunibar is going to want to do in response to that. So far, nothing interesting is happening with Tharbad, but they are conquering, you know, down here. So that's fine that they're just sort of, well, they're beating Dunland into submission, I guess. I kind of feel like I should save them, but also I'm not going to do that. All right, let's bring him over to Lawn Nerned, but carefully. I don't want to get stuck in Adunibar territory. So we'll wait next season. We'll get over to Lithlad in one move. And we've got 2 seasons left for Homeland Dominion up here. Now down here, okay, you're moving towards me there. We're going to get rid of you. I don't want to have to fight this army. Or this one, or this one. But, okay, what they've done is now opened up a way for me to threaten them. So I'm going to go right up to Akasanabon here. That's going to probably draw this army's attention back to me. We'll get another unit of mercenaries here. I want to get rid of you, and that'll open up room for another. Yeah, we're spending all kinds of money. And we'll get you guys retrained. This is all going to be worth it, though.
Yes, Captain. Splitting the troops. Disembark.
All right. And you know what? 4, that's probably good given what else we have in the region. We've already got 2, so that's a total of 6 of these guys. We're going to get all of these reinforcements back, so it's going to be a lot of stuff we're bringing down. I don't even think we really need to go for any other units. Maybe if there's room, we'll grab that mercenary Gondorian swords that they've got. And 1 season for Fiefdom Dominion there. So hopefully what we're going to do is draw their attention back to us. And with this army, what do I want? Well, okay, what we just did is gave ourselves space. Oh, we can't retrain because the population is too low. So we'll take these guys out of the queue. And let's do that. All right. Now, that's just 1 unit of swords and 1 skirmisher unit. We're going to have like a bunch of, you know, free units, essentially, of spears. Do I want to bring something more substantial? How about this? We can bring this army back if they besiege Umbar again. I want to deal with Anumbar once and for all, and then we'll come back and hit those guys on the return. And really the big question is what Harad's going to do in response to my movements, because now I'm in their territory. All right, so they have, well, they've moved some armies over to the west because they had them. This army's still right there. All right, you're competent, and you are now attuned already. Fantastic, so we can get him building. We're only making a little bit of cash. All right, we've got our Fiefdom Dominion, though. Oh my gosh. 2 kids coming of age. Let's see where that is. Arvigil of the Seaward Tower. Oh, awesome. An adept governor. Wow. Man of Gondor, intelligent, energetic, learned in lore. Okay, and then Artaher of Mornin, he's up in the capital. Another adept governor, competent commander. We've gotten some good family members recently. So, what do I want to do with you? Well, how about you go to Barad Eden? That's what we'll do. That's a big enough city. It seems important. We'll put him on that duty. And you guys can come over. Put him right there. And actually, can you go right to Lawn Nerned? Yeah. So you see how that like hurt public order or hurt income slightly. Once he gets attuned, though, we're going to be just fine. So we've got some big armies now aiming at us. This is not a problem. This is not such a problem, but what's this? Yeah, this is more of a problem. 47 palace guard. I don't even know where you come from, right? This is a unit that you are only to get out of Umbar. So this must have been a unit that did a ton of fighting over in the east and has now come back in response to my attacks. So that's, you know, kind of flattering that they think so much of me. And they've got a couple of scarlet shields and a lot of swords. So this is a pretty varied army. You know, I think I want to hit it, but the problem is this. This army could take these cities at will. Of course, I could take Akasanabon right now, but I don't like my chances of holding it. I want to clear out the armies first. So let's head back. It really, it's very disappointing to have to do this, but I think I have to. All right, I think that's good. Haven't really spent any money, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and go for hosting halls, I guess. Although we should probably do this. This is going to save us some cash. 5 seasons. So when he dies, he will at least have made stuff cheaper for his men. Or for his successors. Alright, so something like that. 10 seasons. I feel like we could afford to wait on that. But we may need to assault depending on how things progress around here. That's really all I want to do there. So getting that Dominion building set up in Harman frees us up to do the same thing elsewhere, like Lon Nern. And I don't like how you're appointed, guy. Captain General, that's the heir. And it looks like Dunabar lost this, so Nern has it. So you're going to have to go back, I think, around if you want to try to protect what little you have left. Oh, God, they've got trolls. Oh, man. All right, let's get an emissary, see if we can bribe them to go away. But yeah, the war in Rovanian is progressing well, I think. So far, Rohan is not winning outright. They're putting pressure on Dale, but Dale looks pretty strong. And so I think a lot of the units Rohan is training at this point are, you know, weaker levy types. So we should be good there. All right, so in Tardal, what do I want to do? You know, what we could do is buy Ettendale. This is all getting very expensive. Or maybe I could just say, give this to the dwarves and not worry about it. Let's wait. We're spending cash. We're getting below 100,000, and I want to keep it around 100K because if we end up losing our protectorate, then we're going to have to, you know, spend money to get it back. So one way that I could ensure that doesn't happen is by giving this to the dwarves, right? That'll wall us off from a Dunabar, and they won't bother us in the north. That said, I kind of, you know, this is Western Rudar. This is like, you know, part of the old territory. So I do want to keep this. I don't think a Dunabar is going to strike at us just yet. So let's just check that everything is looking good. Bring these guys down. We've got all this retraining done. He's an expert governor, and he is middle-aged. I think we may as well leave him there. All right, we've got these Blackroot Vale Bowmen to get retrained, but everyone else can come right back down immediately. And I think he can too. We'll bring another family member with us. And so we're not going to fit on one ship, it looks like. Maybe we will. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's probably exactly enough. Okay, so we'll get them going in a boat. All right, attacked by a fleet, of course. But we beat all of them. Great. All right, they want trade again. We're going to just ignore. Okay, we're under siege here, and the big army is coming over to Outnumbered. That's That's kind of good. But also kind of not. It does put pressure on us to attack relatively quickly. But geez, see, here's the other thing we could do. We could take this army out and potentially take Akos Anabon at the same time. Does put us into a bit of a tricky situation because this army could hit us immediately. But I think we would be okay to hold against that. So I think that's what we're going to do. But we've got to deal with this too. There's so much to worry about in this campaign. Okay. So we took Habad, but we haven't done anything with it. We haven't even built the Dominion yet. That's something we could start doing here, so let's do that. Public order should still be decent everywhere. And, yeah, I think I want to take the chance. We can't just keep coming back, you know, after these 2 or 3 stack units. So let's get right here. And we can't do it. Damn it, all movement points are so misleading. Alright, so that committed us over there. What we've got, though, is like 2 turns before we've got a big righteous army coming down from the north by sea. So even if we lose Habad to that tiny, insignificant army, we can take it back. And so now what we want to do... Do we want to assault or give it another turn? Let's see what's in here. Alright, 3 swords. Let's give it another turn. And then while we're waiting, we can go for maybe another siege tower. Or 3. Okay, that means we'll be able to hit him from multiple points. Alright, Lond Nernin has finished its Dominion building. So now we should be able to restore this stuff for cheaper, but it's still ridiculously expensive. Let's go ahead and put him on local governance, because we've got a family member here now. Okay, and yeah, I think we want to go with like Merchant's Quarter first. That's going to give us a little bit of trade and growth. This is going to give us more, but a tiny bit of, you know, upkeep cost. Everything else I'm not too concerned about, although maybe this would help. Yeah, a little. Some public order too. So we'll do a bit of that. What does this do? This allows the emissary, so we kind of need to do that if we're going to train emissaries. Yeah, let's do it. We're down to around 80,000. Not ideal. Okay, but this big army is heading down to deal with Rune. And Rune looks like they're having trouble holding on. So I'm very happy about that. That can be a sort of a desert wasteland sort of area. And again, I'm happy that Rohan has not succeeded in making headway against Dale. Hopefully they just batter each other till the end of the campaign. Meanwhile, I can sort of sneak in and get my victory conditions figured out. Alright, these guys can come south where we'll start putting them in a line for the next force heading down to Harad. Okay, we've got just enough men to not fit. So how about you guys go off over there? Alright, that's just enough. And we've got ships coming. We've got a big army back in Habad in a very short period of time. You're heading over to Barad Eden. And then we do have to give some thought to this. So how about we just start on provincial pacification there. I do want to make this, you know, somewhat useful because we do potentially have some fighting to do over in the east while we get everything else figured out. Should probably do the same with Lithlad, but that has not, or Lathron, but that has not really come under fire yet. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. See, I thought what I was going to do was attack this army, defeat it, maybe take the town, and then even if I had to suffer a counterattack, I would be ready for it. But this looks This looks kind of unworkable. A couple Scarlet Shields. You know, a lot of not useful stuff, but a lot of swords, and these Palace Guard are pretty formidable. We've got this family member, again, not a huge deal. And these guys, I think we got to do it. I'm going to make a little save here. And we're going to jump into the battle. So we've got the city behind us. And so that's where we're going to get some reinforcements coming from. Again, on the defensive, this is not the best place for the catapults, believe it or not, but that's what we're working with. And so I can't remember where the big army's coming from. So we may have to change this all up anyway. Let's just start the battle. That's not the big army.
In a pathetic attempt to save themselves.
This is not the big army. Where's the big army? Off to our left, I guess. Yeah, right here. Okay, so they're going to come over to the left. We're already firing, but let's knock that stuff out. And turn here. They're going to come over this hill. This is the army I'm worried about. It's got a lot of, you know, a lot of cav. That's going to be a problem. We need everyone to move quickly, but we have cav, and if we can use it carefully, we have a really good chance. We could take out this entire army with nothing but cav. Actually, we don't have a lot looking at it now. What we do have is good, but we do not have a lot. Alright, so let's turn then. That's what we're going to do. Take out those riders and then hunt the skirmishers, basically. And I want you guys to not fire just yet. Alright, Herodwaith riders and Horsemen of the Harnan. So I'd love to take out the Horsemen of the Harnan first. But we got to hope this charge works really well. They're shaking and wavering. I think we got it. Alright, pull through, pull through. This is not going to be a charge, but it's going to be a melee. And that's where my Dol Amroth guys should do well. Put those spears away, guys. Start using swords if you would. Alt attack. Oh, maybe the men-at-arms do not have swords as an alternate weapon. Oh, good. All right. Beautiful. Hit these Parchereb tribesmen. So this is the... I think this is the army from the city? No, this is the army that attacked. Oh, these are Parchereb tribesmen. Okay, but they're running. All right. Notice how he is staying well away. He's just going to be withdrawing from this battle. That's okay. I don't really need to get the city in this particular fight. So I'm going to hold off on chasing all of these guys down, in fact. I'm going to need my cavalry. The thing that I would rather do is deal with this large army and get this off the board. Yeah, you can see them with their spears out now. Two-handed spears, an interesting sort of unit type, one you don't see a lot in the mod. Okay, what's coming up here is swords. Be kind of nice to sneak my cavalry around there and deal with that general before he knows what's up, but I don't think we have the luxury. These swords look like they might be getting close enough that I'm going to want to deal with them with my cav.
Engines of war.
We're almost in range with the catapult. Our archers are shooting those swords. So we're going to send all the cavalry after them. I think they're going to get there just in time to throw a volley at our catapults, which is not ideal. Let's see if we can get them off the field quickly. I don't know that we have much chance of doing that because they've got a family member who's going to give them some nice morale buffs. But we do have that fear-causing Knights of Dol Amroth unit. That's enough to put them over the edge. And there's the family member. I'm not sure if he's moving, though. No, we just got close enough to see his banner. So we're going to wait. We're going to play it cool. All right, let's hit those Corsair archers with bows rather than with catapults. Okay, we're now in an archer duel, which, you know, I don't really want to be in. But I want to clear these guys out, and then hopefully they will let us approach and bombard the hell out of them. So we're definitely winning this. Yeah, they're forming up on the hill. The general of this army is a lighter cav unit, Herodwaith Riders. So that's good. But they've got some really strong units in terms of morale anyway. These Umbar Guard are going to help everybody stay in the field longer, and they've got those 2 units of Scarlet Shields, which don't improve the morale of anybody else, but are just a really solid unit on their own right. Alright, let's speed this up a little bit. Alright, they're gone. Now we'll see what they do. Sometimes when you beat their archers, the AI decides, well, okay, we're going to move in with a melee then. We've got their heavy cav over here, and this could actually wreck us because we've got very light infantry. We don't have any strong spears down here, which I probably should have thought of. King Spearmen are a really good unit. So we're gonna have to hope they do something suboptimal with their cavalry so we can get some charges in and deal with them. Looks like they're approaching. Let's put them back on fire at will. You may as well choose your own targets, guys. I don't think we'll get that many. Yeah, see, we're missing because they're moving forward. They're just going to come under that that catapult arc. But we are going to get them into some arrow and javelin fire. But look how they're going to completely outflank us. So I think this is a battle we're going to lose. Really curious about your thoughts on this. How could I do this battle better? I predict I'm going to lose this. So what would you do in this scenario, right? You're being outflanked. You're being outflanked by really powerful units. Not on this end so much, but on this end. They're going to set up a nice cav charge that's going to wreck me, and my spears are not going to be able to do too much about it because they're going to be engaged. What I'm thinking right now, we're going to get some throws in with the javelins. We're going to charge in, hopefully kill their general. Then these guys are going to run out and screen. And they're splitting up their cav, so that's dumb on their part. So I'm very happy about that. Hopefully our infantry is going to win. I would think it would, no reason for it not to. Okay, he's fleeing. We've won the center. Alright, so now we've got these guys. Notice how they're not on skirmish anymore. Because I want them to actually get into melee with these Scarlet Shields. They're going to charge into my skirmishers. We're going to countercharge them and get those skirmishers in. They're shaken. And they're routing. Okay. Better than I thought. Same thing here with these guys. Let's bring all the cavalry back. Scarlet Shields are going to do the same move. They did not use them in tandem, though. Alright, I gave a throw order before we engaged in melee, so we're going to get a cast in. And then let's charge. They're wavering. They're gone. Alright, now we got some scary units here for these footmen to have to deal with, and swords. But let's be a little smart about it. Let's charge these guys in here, those guys in there. All the cavalry can set up and do a nice charge, hopefully. Alright, we got some fighting happening. I have not been paying attention to this part of the battle. There's Corsairs of Umbar. I should be okay with those, I think. Alright, let's go in right here. They're kind of winning. I'm only holding them with a single unit of mercenary Southron spears. This is largely footmen, though. And so I think we're going to do okay. Alright, let's hit the swords then. Just everybody charge right in. Here's more footmen. We're doing alright over here. We're staying on them. These swords, though, are going to be a tough foe. So the cavalry probably needs to go back in that direction. We've dealt with everything over here, so let's move up to dealing with these swords of Harad. Mariners are pursuing skirmishers. That's not great, but I don't have anything else. We did manage to get the footmen gone, and the Corsairs left at the same moment. Catapults are still shooting. You know, let's take you off catapult fire, actually. And I think what we're going to have is the Knights of Dol Amroth are going to fill these swords with so much fear, yes indeed, that they are going to rout. And Scarlet Shields are back a little bit, but you know what? They're wavering, and we've got some spearmen of our own right here. We'll hopefully charge into them and do some more damage. Well, they did some damage to us, but we did far more to them. Wonderful, okay. You can tell I've been burned a little bit as the Reunited Kingdom fighting these battles in the south against, you know, Harad and Harondor, where I just sort of confidently walked in, but then realized that despite my superior technology, they're much more impressive numbers and, you know, decent cav units in particular. Really spelled disaster for me in a couple of battles. I thought that was going to go the same here. And it really could have, honestly, if the AI had not split up its charges with the Scarlet Shields right on this right wing. If they had lined them up, like they do sometimes, and sort of taken the time to set up a nice charge, they could have completely wrecked my Southron spears, and they could have probably driven through my cav if they had targeted them instead. But what they did instead is just send in one at a time. They didn't charge correctly. Look at these mercenary swording skirmishers. Fantastic numbers still left on them. What did they have? 60, I think, at the beginning. 49 one and 41 in the other. So, I mean, they're just a wonderful unit. And they didn't get charged super effectively either. So the AI did not do a good job. Of course, you know, it doesn't regularly do a very good job, but it's I guess it's enough that it does a good enough job occasionally that it puts a little fear into you sometimes. So anyway, we should be in a really good position here. I'm curious to see the stats actually, so let's stick around until that that appears in terms of losses. Because if I had to guess, we're gonna be facing quite a few, and probably some combination of some of these units. Yeah, heroic victory. We lost a little over 200 men, which it seems typical when I have these big bloody battles. It's around 200 that I tend to lose, and so we sustained a ton of casualties among those Southron spears. And then, yeah, Southron spears definitely bore the brunt of that. We also lost a significant amount of mariners, sadly. 7 in one, 10 in the other, 35 in the other. But look at the casualties inflicted. Knights of Dol Amroth come out ahead with 129 kills. Actually, no. Dol Amroth men-at-arms, 192. Now, their cavalry, they're going to be chasing guys, routers, and I'm sure that plays into the number of kills. But nevertheless, very effective units there. But we'll see what it looks like when they get back to the campaign map in terms of numbers left. It doesn't look super impressive in terms of the banner strength there. All right, we are not going to take this guy. He's inept. Man of the Mountains is interesting. Ambushing, line of sight. So the kind of guy you would want scouting, I guess, right? But we're not going to take him. Let's see what we've got for news. We did a lot of that retraining in London. And we lost a scout down here, probably just due to old age. But Ingold of Harngond came of age in Harngond, and he's an adept governor, which is excellent news. It's good to have another governor to step in to the shoes of the current one when he dies. But yes, we now can get Harond, our Outriders of the Lord's Barracks, and yeah, I'm going to do it. We've got an excellent governor there. There's no reason not to get him, building on that immediately. We are going through our cash, but what else are you going to do? All right, well, I think that probably makes a decent point to end. I don't want to stop, right? I want to keep playing this, but we'll have to wait till the next episode to see what's going to happen here. I could get out of Akasanabon right now, and it might make sense to do that, because this army could, well, geez, what do I want to do? We've got a big army coming. Let's do this. Let's just do our moves on the battlefield here. Yeah, surprise. What do you think about that? Okay, so we could do something really interesting here. Oh, we can't hit him. That's so misleading. But we may be able to clean out both of these stacks with this army. So notice how they've been called back. Now we can take our sweet time over here or assault when we want. We can clear out this stack, and then we can decide what to do with this one. I don't feel like Akasanabon is quite right to get yet, although we could take it right now with very little loss. All right, I think I've decided. We're going to do it because we've got a full stack here. I think we should be able to take this army pretty easily with Arvigil. No, it's Adrahil of Arnak. He's an inept commander, but he's going to earn his stripes. See, this is where you want. This guy's adept, but he's not leading the army. So you want to sort of shuffle that stuff around in terms of who's in command. But at any rate, we're gonna get a victory there, I'm quite sure, and then we'll be able to reinforce. So probably what I'll do on the break is assault this immediately. We're going to assault this Akasanabon, and I'll do that off camera because it's going to be just a tiny garrison force. So we'll have that by the time you come back to the next episode, and then we're going to really start making some headway, I think. We've got some more armies in the area. We're going to have 1 or 2 more settlements under our belt very soon, and then we can start bottling up Harad. All right. This has been a very good one, at least for me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will stick around for the next one. Until then, take care.